pass from Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes. Here at SOS Discussion, we're going over our previews and predictions for this weekend. I'm going to start with Darian on this one.
Before I get to your passing the torch question, first off, I want to explain to everybody why I'm wearing this shirt. And yes, I still have my Spot On Sports shirt underneath, so I'm still repping the home team. But I'm wearing this Hawaiian shirt because if you go through and you look at Super Bowl Media Day, you will see Andy Reid sporting his trademark Hawaiian shirt. So in case any of you guys were wondering or curious, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. And this is my sign of solidarity with the Chiefs. Now let's move into this passing the torch. Not me. I'm not falling to the passing the torch thing because if you guys reflect back, and you should if you're watching this, the first video, go ahead and go back a little bit. When we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and things like that, I said that you need Patrick Mahomes to build up more of a resume. If he has 2 Super Bowls, he's not all of a sudden to go. Tom Brady can lose this game to Patrick Mahomes, be devastated, wake up Monday morning, and still be the greatest quarterback of all time. So this game in just isolation, no, it's not a passing of the torch. Tom Brady ain't the best quarterback in the league right now. It's Patrick Mahomes. There's no real torch to be passed, in my opinion. But I've said why I'm going with the Chiefs. Or I've said I'm going with the Chiefs. Let me tell you why. And that's because you look at the Chiefs and they're an all-star group, man. Quarterback, phenomenal. Weapons, phenomenal. The offensive line banged up. Yeah, I understand. But the head coach, phenomenal. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time. He got his ring last year. And I think that everybody is welcoming him. They love him, and they're recognizing that he is one of the best. Then you look at the defense side of things. Spagnuolo at the defensive coordinator position, he has an intricate blitz package. And then I look at he has Tyrann Mathieu, he has Chris Jones, he has Frank Clark. He has and L'Jarius Sneed's been really good on the edge as a rookie out of Louisiana Tech, by the way. But he has weapons on that defense. They're not slouches. They're not the slouches they were 2 years ago. So I look at it and I say, man, this Kansas City team is really good. And the thing that scares me the most, the thing that scares me the absolute most is the fact that they played already. And Tyreek Hill went ballistic. And then in the second half, they slowed him down. I almost feel like it would have been better for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to not have slowed down Tyreek Hill because now they have shown how they will try to stop him. And the offensive genius that is Andy Reid will have a completely separate attack aside from the first quarter. So now you're going to have to get Tyreek Hill in a different way because you showed how you stop him.
So, yeah, these two teams met week 12 of the regular season. The Chiefs won by 3. The Bucs were down 27-10 at the half, came back in the fourth quarter and scored 14 points to make it close. And I say all of that to say I feel like this is going to be another close game between these two teams. I think the key for both of these teams is get to the quarterback. You have the Chiefs rushing defense who ranks 16th in the regular season. And we've known Tom Brady to cough up 1, 2, or 3 interceptions and take some sacks in the regular season and in the postseason. When you look at the Bucs rushing defense, who ranked number 1 this season, they're going against a quarterback who is troubled by turf toe. And so, yeah, Patrick Mahomes has had 2 weeks or so to kind of rest that toe up, but it's still something that's bothering him because he has to have surgery on it in the offseason. I think this will be a pass-heavy game. They both have dominant, or I'll say good quality running backs, but these are 2 quarterbacks who like to toss the ball. That's just their game. And with Patrick Mahomes, I'm looking for him to spread the field and find the open man quickly and land that target. And the Chiefs have the advantage of having speedier and quicker wide receivers. Now, the Bucs do have some good wide receivers. It's just when it comes to the fast-paced receivers, you have to look at the Kansas City Chiefs for that. So Brady is the more experienced quarterback. He's the more experienced Super Bowl quarterback, but he has a new cast around him who is new to this stage. With Patrick Mahomes, he has a team who still is a powerhouse coming off of last season's Super Bowl victory. And so you have to take that into account. And I'm rolling with the Chiefs 24-21 in this matchup. As far as passing torch, I see it the same way that Darian does. I don't think this is a passing the torch situation. I do believe Patrick Mahomes has a long career ahead of him, especially if he's able to beat this turf toe situation and stay healthy. He has a long career ahead of him, and he could win 5 or 6 more Super Bowls. I don't know what type of teams that the Kansas City Chiefs or any other team is going to stack around him.
I'm going to have to pick with my heart instead of my head. But for all of my betting fans that are watching me today, I'm going to tell you why you need to put your money on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But before I do that, I'm taking the Chiefs 35-30. Don't ask me why unless you know who my homeboy is. Now, if you know who my homeboy is, then you know exactly why I'm making that prediction. But for all of my betting fans, please go check the injury report, the injury report, the injury report. The first thing that we can talk about is Patrick Mahomes and the turf toe. He is a bootleg. He is a off script. He is a scramble. He is a make something out of nothing quarterback. Him with turf toe means that he has to be a pocket quarterback, which plays directly into the best defense in the playoffs hands currently, especially the best front seven in the playoffs currently, and that's Tampa Bay with Shaq, with Sue, with Pierre-Paul, and they are relentless, and they have fresh meat. And I am talking about 3 injured offensive linemen, potentially 4, and the wide receiver. 3 injured starting offensive linemen will be gone for the Kansas City Chiefs, and 1 is currently on COVID protocol, and we will not know if he is going to be allowed to play until Saturday. So there is a chance that the entire front 4 and the entire starting offensive line besides the center for the Kansas City Chiefs will be backups. Now, I know Andy Reid with 2 weeks will find ways to mitigate that, screen game, bootlegs, things like that, jet sweeps, things like that, quick slants. Tyreek Hill is extremely fast. He's going to have to get on and off of those routes as quickly as possible. And he's going to have to lean on Travis Kelce, because he's not going to have the time that he usually has, and he's not going to have the mobility to be as off script as he usually is. Kansas City Chiefs defense is opportunistic, but they are very porous, especially in the middle of the field. One thing that Tampa Bay will have to do is make sure that Tyrann Mathieu does not steal the game from them. If Tyrann Mathieu steals the game, then I believe that Kansas City will make this a lot more difficult than it can be. But the Chiefs are wounded, and the wounds that they have play directly into Tampa Bay's hands. So if you were betting on this game, bet the spread. But I'm picking with my heart instead of my head, and you never go against your homeboy. So I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs in a high-scoring game, 35-30. For the bettors, bet the spread.
Anthony trying to get y'all to lose y'all money. I just got to say that before Darren go. Go ahead, Darren.
Agree.
Man, look, I look at it, and Anthony brought up some great points, and I want to zone in on his offensive line point. Yes, I do think that is going to be a huge benefit of the Tampa Bay defensive line. However, you are correct. Andy Reid will find a way to mitigate that, and he has. Over the last couple of games, I want to say the last 3 games, the both regular season and playoffs, the Kansas City Chiefs have put up a total of 4 passes that traveled 20 yards down the field. And I know that's a stat that will wow you because they're such a vertical offense and they're so explosive. But, man, you look at it, their offensive line was struggling against the Saints, had over 40% of their dropbacks pressured. Against the Atlanta Falcons, had 39% of their dropbacks pressured. It's one of those things where it was a problem that was pointed out in the regular season, and they had a lot of screens. They've had a lot of – look at that pass to Tyreek Hill. It was a 71-yard completion, but it wasn't 30, 40, 50 yards down the field. It was a quick slant, and he ran from it because he's that dynamic. He's the best catch and running guy. The guy is ridiculous. Travis Kelce doesn't need to go 30 yards down the field. So while I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will exploit that offensive line a little bit better than the Browns and the Bills had, I do still think that the Kansas City Chiefs have the weapons and the mind of Andy Reid to really get past it, man. And I still got the Kansas City Chiefs pulling it out, and it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one. But one thing that I'm sorry, I need to point this out. I need the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to put together a complete offensive game, because I've said it against the Saints where the defense had to set them up for all of their touchdowns. And then you look at the second half of the Green Bay game where they really couldn't get anything except for that one touchdown at the beginning, which was set up by a turnover on the 8-yard line. They scored 10 points, and they could give the first 7 to the defense in the second half. I need them to put on a complete performance if they think they're going to win. I don't care if it's first half or second half. If they fail in either of those, Kansas City Chiefs winning this game for sure.
Yeah,
Also, based on go ahead.
Yeah, to Darian's point about injuries, I spoke to Kansas City's depth a few weeks ago, and you just look at when one player goes down, somebody else plugs in the spot, and they're able to keep the ball rolling. And so you're right, they do have the great coaching mind of Andy Reid, and they have Eric Bieniemy, who's also done phenomenal with this offense. And so I feel like this could become a problem, but I don't see it being a problem right now. I feel like they find a way to combat the injury bug.
I just wanted to speak on the passing of the torch conversation. We need to quit disrespecting Tom Brady. This is Super Bowl number 10 for him. This is Super Bowl number 2 for Patrick Mahomes. Now, do I feel like Patrick Mahomes will in the future be considered the greatest quarterback ever? Yes. And the reason being, the same reason that we believe that Tom Brady is better than, let's say, Joe Montana. Joe Montana is 4-0. I believe Terry Bradshaw is 4-0 as well. But you have to have both the stats and the accolades in the sense of championships and MVPs and things like that. Do I believe that Patrick Mahomes can match Peyton Manning with maybe 5 MVPs? Yes. Do I believe that Patrick Mahomes could potentially go 5-1, 4-0, 4-1 in Super Bowls? Yes. Do I believe that he could break all of the passing records because of the way that the NFL is set up differently from even early Tom Brady or let's say early Drew Brees? So he would probably be able to break their records? Yes. And in that case, when we get to that point at the end of his career, if he's able to play as long as, because injury, he's already more injury prone than, let's say, a Drew Brees or a Tom Brady already in the early part of his career. He hasn't missed a lot, but they didn't miss anything. I mean, besides the one major injury, Tom Brady hasn't missed anything. Besides the couple injuries this year and last year, Drew Brees hasn't missed anything for 20 years. So things like that takes part. Okay, you may be perfect health, 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Your team gets injured the first round of the playoffs, you don't make it to a Super Bowl. We got to stop disrespecting Tom Brady and what he's accomplished and what he's done by saying a torch can be passed to somebody who's looking at their second Super Bowl when Tom Brady probably can't even remember what he wore to his second Super Bowl at this point.
Well, I'll say this. Patrick Mahomes better not lose this game because I believe if you lose to a 400-year-old quarterback at this point in your time, I don't know. I don't
know. Quarterback has
I'll say this. No,
around him.
I'm cutting it off. Y'all ain't got nothing.
That's disrespectful.
I'll say this though. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback we've ever saw with our eyes. So that's all I got. He's the GOAT in my opinion. But y'all tell us what y'all think in the comment section. Like it up, subscribe. We'll see y'all next time at SOS Discussion.
Tell Jamar stop being disrespectful.
Welcome to SOS Extras, where our analysts get our
energy too, fool.
Yeah. Welcome to SOS Extra, where our analysts get 1 minute to get their hottest takes off their chest. I'm gonna start with Darren. You got 1 minute.
Look, man, I want to talk about courtside Karen. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Let's get everything out the way. You said your man's was talking to LeBron doing that, John. First off, I had a friend who played basketball firsthand tell you, don't do that. It's just gonna make him go crazier. And then LeBron said something to her boyfriend about anything about to get your girl or some crap like that. They didn't catch that. Just said the man was steroid. And yes, he looks overly swole for no apparent reason. I don't know what he's doing, but that it looked like LeBron was just being accurate. But let's be very clear. And it comes down to this. You cannot tell LeBron James you're going to F him up on the court side. It's that simple. If you tell LeBron, I don't care what happened in between. If you tell LeBron James that you're going to F him up, security is going to walk to you, escort you. I don't need Instagram videos about it. This is LeBron James. Let's not be silly, or we can talk about something else.
Mia, what you got?
All right, so the WNBA free agency is off to a frenzy. And after 13 years with the LA Sparks, Candace Parker is taking her talents back to Chicago to join the Chicago Sky. And so the Sky finished 6th in the WNBA last season. And I think adding Candace Parker to the mix at least gives them that extra push, and maybe they're a 3 seed this season. What I'm really excited to see, though, is how CP can elevate the game of Azurá Stevens. Stevens was drafted by the Dallas Wings. She had a pretty tight relationship with Liz Cambage, and once Liz left, Azurá was just not the same. And then she turned around and got injured, and then they traded her to Chicago. She had a decent season last year, and so I'm looking for CP, another veteran, a great veteran, to come in and add to Azuré's game. And I think the Sky are cooking with something right now.
Anthony, what you got?
I don't know if you guys have heard, but breaking news is the Las Vegas Raiders are looking and accepting trades for Derek Carr. Now, I want to talk to you guys about a very special, very important quarterback who may potentially be the greatest of all time in the future, and that's Patrick Mahomes. But I don't even want to talk about anything that he's did. What I want to tell you is what he's done to owners and organizations. He's sped up the clock on quarterbacks because now people are expecting the same success out of their good prospect quarterback that they're getting out of Patrick Mahomes. They're expecting the leadership. They're expecting the changing of the culture that he did with Kansas City. And they don't understand that it takes more than just one player. But you're going to see a lot of the quarterback carousel for the rest of this free agency. Do not think that it's over with Derek Carr.
Now, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, in the SOS group chat, people have been getting on me for saying Deshaun Watson is a generational talent. I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, if you put those type of talents around Deshaun Watson, what do you think we'd be talking about right now? How many Super Bowls would he be at right now? If Deshaun Watson just had a little bit of help and not an incompetent head coach that trades away all your assets every single year, where would Deshaun Watson be right now? So all I got to say is Deshaun Watson is that guy. Put him in San Francisco and see what happens. He'll be right in that Super Bowl going against Brady, just like I said. And we'll see what happens. But stop hating on Deshaun Watson. I know y'all think he's a good quarterback, but let's put him with that echelon of quarterbacks that are out there these days. He's number 2 in my opinion, and I'll see what happens when he goes to another team after the Houstons get rid of him. That's all we got for SOS Extras. Tell us what y'all think in the comment section. Like it up, subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.
We thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. Be sure to check out more shows here on this YouTube page, such as SOS Discussions or My Point Exactly. And most of all,
keep watching Spot on Sports!
It's a new wave of sports that's sweeping the nation. We're not just accurate, it's spot on.